Not sure what's going to happen. We're having fun yet?
It says this meeting is being live streamed.
Yeah, it's just kicking in though.
Good,
Okay,
good.
and we're live. We are live.
Wow, how exciting.
Look at that.
Wow.
Uh, So let me
I
see.
have to say you look mighty handsome today, Andre. I
Well,
love
thank
the
you.
look.
Well, thank
You're
you.
looking
Hold
very
on. I have a
lovely.
double feedback here. Let me see.
Oh no. That's because you're
Well,
just too
stop.
much.
I'm
Double feedback.
I'm very shy. I'm sorry. All these compliments just with.
Just for showing up.
All right, let me see. There you go. That's it.
All
So
managed.
this just for showing up. All right, so I'm gonna do this here, and I go back here. Okay, here you are. Okay, can you hear me? You hear me?
I can.
Beautiful. All right, so hello everybody. Welcome to our co-host channel, Dr. Harmony and myself, Andre Paradis from Project Equinox, and we're gonna drip on you every other week some material, some content, relationship dynamics. Dr. Harmony has a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience, different sides, a lot of things, life stuff, study stuff. Both of us crossing over. So that's the point of here. We're gonna drop
Well, and
in
the obvious, Andre, you're a man and I'm a woman. Let's just
that
put that on the table in case somebody out there is confused. You are
right.
in California.
Yes, right. And the I find the dance of relationships, the combination of understanding each other, man, woman, is ideal with a woman, the kind of perspective. I'll give you my side, she'll give you her side.
Yeah.
But I have to say, me and her together will blend really well. So you guys should hopefully get some aha moments. Wait, what? Wait, what moments? And that's what we're looking for. So, Dr. Harmony, introduce yourself if you want, as I may, I just did. But plus,
Well, thank you. I am Dr. Harmony, and I have started a group about many years ago, the Queen Circle. And I do also have Healthy Energy, Amazing Life, myhealshop.com. I'm a naturopathic doctor. About 10 years ago, in my 24-year relationship, we just celebrated 24 years this month.
wow,
Yeah.
yay!
And about 10 years ago, we both looked at each other very sadly because we did very much love each other and was like, wow, we're just out of ideas, we're out of options, we're out of thoughts,
Out of
we don't even know
sync.
what to do. We don't
Mm.
even know what to do. It was so sad. It was like puppy dogs.
Oh.
And it was just terrible. And we discovered Ellison Armstrong, the Queen's Code, and then
Hmm.
through a process, we went and discovered Andre, and we have just been on this path of sharing and developing and nurturing, and really committed to help. I am committed to helping women discover and create loving, long-term, fulfilling relationships that work. So
Beautiful.
that's
Beautiful. That's how we're here. My mission is to teach this to the masses. I want to
mm,
alleviate the pain, confusion, frustration, misunderstanding, and the chaos in relationships, especially nowadays with what's out in the culture. It should make things easier, right? We have equality everywhere. It should work better. It should be, right? Except it works for money and career to a point, but in the realm of relationship equality, 50-50 actually doesn't work. There's no such thing. There's just no such thing. But thinking that there is, this is where the collision come. In my world, a lot, 100 miles an hour. So it creates more pain, more confusion, more frustration, more anger, and more collapse. And when family systems aren't sustainable and they collapse, families cannot raise healthy children to create their own healthy relationship, to create their own healthy children, and right. So now society collapses. So that's the God
mm,
mission. My God mission is to teach this to the masses and kind of reframe and a little bit of relearn what's more natural, what works more naturally, right, in the realm of relationship, men, women, and with a modern twist, right? I'm not thinking of going back to the 50s. That's ridiculous, right? It's not at all what I'm talking about, but it's a modern way to make all this work. So you and I are here to bring hope and understanding. It is possible, ladies and gentlemen, to create healthy long-term relationship in this culture. You have to, again, I will refer back to dancing. I'm a dancer by trade. That's what my wife and I, that's how we met. The metaphors of dancing in relationships are incredibly beautiful. However, just like if you're going to be a ballroom dancer or a tango dancer, you have to learn. You have to learn. And nowadays, we have to learn how to do relationships because we've dismantled everything that naturally worked. So we got to go back to nature, but now we have to relearn it. That's my perspective. So today, you and me are we're gonna take topics and we're gonna break them down. We're gonna play with that. Again, just decode a little bit the communication breakdown in relationships, common for both men and women. Because in the end, and we'll decode this, difficulty expressing needs and honestly without fear of judgment. We both have that problem. Secondly, the misinterpretation of intention leading to conflict and withdrawal, and avoiding emotional conversation until problems escalate. So the results is we have partners who feel misunderstood, unheard, and emotionally distant. Common, common, oh my
Mhm.
God, common
Every
problem
day,
every
everyday
day.
occurrence.
So what's your take on this? Difficulty expressing needs and honestly without fear of judgment.
Well, I mean, I think that, it is just a common everyday occurrence. This is happening every day.
Hmm.
And, coming from a female woman perspective, feminine, converted from boss bitch to
I
femininity.
love it.
Feminine. I know, I'm
I
so
love
excited.
you. I love you.
And it just makes all the difference. But, earlier we were talking about your commitment to the world. It is more than just women. We've been lied to. We've just bought this lie that we're powerless. So then,
Oh,
in regards to this topic, how you say, then we're coming out of fear from powerlessness. We're coming out of, should I say this? How do I say? I mean, we're not even clear on what we want. We're not even clear, we don't even know what restaurant we want to go to. So how are we supposed to even say in the bedroom what we want him to do or not do, right? I
amen.
mean, so many women suffer through stuff or they are not getting their needs met simply because they can't say, hey, could you move your finger over just one little centimeter or millimeter, right? But
Yeah.
when you think about it, it's just coming out of fear of, is he really, if I show how much I care, if I'm vulnerable, will I lose my power? But yet we're coming from a place of powerless.
Right. No, I'm with you. So for me, what I notice is that women have, this tendency, especially before menopause, right? Estrogen will do this. Want to be pleasing, pleasant, and kind and loving, and say yes to everything, which is, often what destroys you because you say yes to everything, whether you have the space, energy,
Hmm.
time. Do you know what I mean? That's a paradigm of estrogen being, right, in your brain.
Hmm.
But what I see a lot is women don't, you know. You don't want to be needy. You don't want to come off needy. You want to be sort of like you're supposed to be strong and independent. So often
Hmm.
having honest conversation, not knowing how, out of fear of starting a fight, starting a disagreement, right? Because a
Hmm.
lot of women express by the time they get to the man or their man to have a conversation about something that doesn't work for her, what I've noticed is you ladies often wait too long, right? And so by the time you are ready to have a conversation, it's because he did this 16 times, and now you're really frustrated. You went from frustrated to angry. And then the last one, you snap, you put your finger in his face. I'm sick of this. I need you to blah, 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 right? So now that on a masculine, any being, a masculine man is an attack. So
Hmm.
if you're going to attack a warrior being, a man, you're going to lose. He's going to push back, even if you're right. Even if
Right.
you're right, he's going to push back and he's going to knock you down and push it quiet you down, and you're going to think he's a real jerk. So
Hmm.
in my world, it's the fear of trying to bring something up that's uncomfortable. If you wait too long, it becomes an attack, and this is when you
Hmm.
lose every time. And then it becomes a pattern of I can't bring anything up to him; he's going to get mad. So I'd rather say nothing because at least he's okay
Hmm.
now. Because if I say something, he won't be. Blah 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 blah. So that's what I see all the time. It's much more so that it's 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 wanting to make things work, not knowing how. I called it Manglish, right? If you're going to approach your man and ask him to adjust, you can't do it when you're angry. You can't do it with your finger in
Right.
his face. You can't mother him. You mother
Hmm.
him, he's going to shut down, and you're like, I'm just asking. Well, there's ways to do all this, is what I'm saying. Your turn.
I agree. I mean, but I think the premise for women is that we're being taught such what's the word where it opposites, right?
Dichotomy.
It is so natural for us to need our husbands, and I just am baffled what is so wrong with that, right?
Mm.
I used to say to my husband all the time, this was in the BB stage, boss bitch, right? So I would be like, babe, no, I don't need you, but I want you. Isn't that so precious? And I was just so proud of myself that I was choosing to want him, right? But I didn't need him, right? And he was
Oh,
so
yeah.
offended. I
Oh,
mean, my God, he was just like, no, babe, this is not okay. And so it's just, that lie that we've been suckered into that destroys any possibility or hope of interdependence, that
yep.
interlockingness, that intimacy, that needing each other. Because, and once I accepted that I did need my husband, and I just love to say that to him all the time. I'm like, oh, thank you. I need you so much. And I just give him a big hug, or I squeeze his big arm, or I just give him a kiss on the cheek. And I'm just so delighted. And, but I then get to be the woman I always wanted to be and have the relationship that I always wanted, because then he can need me back in return.
That's
Now, that's a different way. It's not the way I do, right?
yep.
But it's in this very coming home to, I represent home to him. And so when he's with me and he's
Woo,
loving me and he's in
woo,
me, it's the
woo.
welcoming home. And
Yes,
that only occurred when I started acknowledging that I needed him, right? And then to elaborate, you are correct. I want to acknowledge that we do wait too long, and then we shut down, or
bark.
we bark, we explode,
Hmm.
because we are simply exhausted. We're just
Yep.
worn out.
Yeah.
We haven't articulated our needs, right?
Right.
And so asking for time, and I know you really talk about this a lot with
Yeah.
Manglish,
Yeah. Yeah.
and how to properly ask, my husband, or it doesn't even have to be my husband. I
Oh,
love this story of my attorney. I'll tell you this real quick. So he is a bulldog. Love him, bulldog. Just what you want in an attorney.
that's a
Maybe not a
man.
husband, but definitely in an attorney, right? And so I've been waiting for a document. It wasn't pressing, but it was something that I needed for months. And I said,
Oh,
I'm going to test this out, because if it works on this bulldog, this is it. And I just really wrote and was vulnerable. And I said, this would reduce my stress and my anxiety, and it would really allow me to sleep better at night. This project would be complete, and I would know that, this category was complete, right? I mean, it was like 15 minutes. I am so sorry. I will have that to you in 30 minutes or less. Thank you for letting me know. And I'm like,
yep.
oh, wow, because I was vulnerable, let him know what I needed, what it would provide for me. Instead of, for months, I've been like, you said,
Right.
blah.
Right. Right. And he's like, ugh.
Oh,
He's like, whatever. Okay, push back. You know what I mean? Like, don't
right.
step on my toes. Like, why are you doing talking to me this way? It's just because ultimately for men, it's all about respect. And if you to
Yeah.
speak disrespectfully, you get to get shut down really quickly, and you'll think we're jerks. But again, back to English, this, you have to be in your, use your feminine ways, right?
Mhm.
To not lean in, but to invite change like you just did, right? And also, men play for points. So when
Mhm.
you tell me, right, you, my wife, any woman tells me, if you if you like did this for me, it would make me feel like, I would relieve my stress. I would feel so much better. I would not have to like manage this so much, and it would really, really help. Like, and I go, oh, like it triggers the hero in me. We all want to be
Mhm.
heroes at our core, and so this is how you trigger the hero, not by demanding, commanding,
No.
digging your heels, all that stuff, because, well, you have the right to, right? Like, well, yeah, you have the right to, but this is how men don't respond. And again, and you think we're jerks. No, you have to respect is mandatory for us to respond and ask me respectfully, trigger the hero, you get everything you want, just like you. On
Mhm.
this bulldog, because men are men, and the hero in us is, you watch little boys, little kids, little boy kids, right? And watch them like trying to help mom, right? Trying to open the door, trying to pick on something on the floor. Like there's, it's just in there. It's so beautiful, but
Mhm.
it can be stifle. It gets stifle if you become demanding, commanding,
Right.
combative. I'm sick of. Okay, that doesn't work. Anyway,
Mhm.
so that's a huge one, right? So,
And
ah,
I agree. And that's like what I was saying earlier, and I say to a lot of women, I just love, they're like, why do I have to change? Why do I have to be the one that
oh,
changes?
I hear that
And I
every day.
go, first of all, I'm only here with you. So I can only speak to you as a woman, woman to woman. I'm like, but how's that working for you? Right? How is not changing working for you? And secondly, it just takes away those opportunities for that cohesiveness, for that connection. And that's really what women are looking for is that connection, that intimacy, that interdependency. And I really like how you always, when we're talking with our men and our husbands and inviting them, enrolling them to, I don't know, take out the trash or take me to a restaurant
Anything,
or
anything,
whatever, anything,
anything.
document, etc. Really, it's still unselfish when you come from a place of commitment to the relationship,
Mhm.
commitment to the two of you being one in that committed relationship called marriage. Then it's like, well, babe, I know you're busy. I know I'm asking you to do A, B, or C. What can I do for you? Is there something I can do that will help you to be able to provide for me?
Mhm.
And then it becomes this really circular um, relationship of giving and receiving, right?
Which
We
is the
both get to
point.
give and receive at the same time. And then, hint, hint, ladies, just in case you're not following along, that shows up in the bedroom, right?
Amen.
Maybe that's just how it works.
For me, I call it polarity, right? Your ways, my ways, completely different, just like our genitals, completely opposite, but made to fit beautifully. So our
Mhm.
temperament, our brains, what motivates me, what motivates you, completely separate, completely different, right? The way I process anything different than you, emotions, feelings, ideas, thoughts, like so it's the collide happens a lot where we're so different. Is anything more
Mhm.
different to a man than a woman and vice versa? That's what attracts us to each other. By the way, that's nature. Polarity comes from opposites. And if you notice relationships that all flow, function, last, they're completely opposite. One's extroverted, the other one's introverted. Naturally. Two introverts
Mhm.
don't work together. Two extroverts don't
Mhm.
work together. They collide. So, in
Mhm.
go back in your past, go back and just look at you're opposite all the time. Extrovert, introvert. One spends money more. The other one saves money more. One likes to take risks. The other one's like, no, 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 no. Safety, safety, right? My favorite is one is afraid to get dumped in a relationship. The other one's afraid to
Oh.
get to lose themselves in a relationship. There's a yin
Mm.
yang to everything. So again, these are this disparity that pull us together. But after a while, often it creates tension and stress because we want the other one to act like us.
Mhm.
Right? Men are like, can
Mhm.
you just stop taking things personally? That had nothing to do with you.
Mhm.
Yes, it did. I felt it. You're like, yeah, this, no, no, it's illogical. Right? So again, we're heady, you're hardy, right? We both have both, but we run this more, you run this more. Collision, disconnect, right?
Mhm.
Women want men to, my favorite, we want nice guys, we want a nice guy. No, you don't.
No,
A nice guy is passive. A nice guy doesn't
right.
lead. A nice guy, you put in a friend zone. A nice guy doesn't make you feel safe. So
Mhm.
stop talking about nice guys, right? Because the guys
Mhm.
are actually trying to be nice guys and you disrespect them. Like you can't respect them because they're weak. That's where they appear.
Mhm.
So you don't want a jerk. I'm not saying a dictator. You want a man who's a man who will make you feel safe by being a man who takes the lead and with sensitivities. It's like, back to the metaphors of dancing. You see my wife and I ballroom dancing. Have you seen that picture? My wife and I ballroom
Yes,
dancing.
it's beautiful.
Right, that's
Yeah.
the story of our life. That's how we met. But get this, as a lead in ballroom, right? I have to lead her with sensitivities because I could crank her arm and her shoulder. I could overlead her. I could bully her, literally.
Right.
Now, is she going to want to dance with me if I bully her?
Mhm.
Gentlemen, that's a relationship. No, you want to lead with sensitivities. You want to lead with a certain awareness of the feminine, right? To make her feel safe, you know, but to also pull her into the formula where we respond to each other, we connect, right? Like in
Mhm.
ballroom dancing is the touch, right? I invite her this way and she responds with me. It's such a beautiful, fluid kind of exchange.
Mhm.
Same thing in relationships, using your words, using energy, using your patience, right? So, and on the other side, my wife, when we're dancing, is not passive. Ladies, being
No,
feminine is not passive. She's
no.
doing everything backwards and dressing high heels. It's not
Mhm.
passive. It's actually very active. And it's actually, more difficult on some level, right?
Mhm.
But she can only let me lead her if if she trusts me, knowing she's going to be safe, I'm not going to hurt her. Then she
Mhm.
drops into her feminine, right? She's vulnerable to my leadership, throws her into her feminine. She starts shining, right? She's
Mhm.
in the moment completely. And guess what happened? Nobody's looking at me, even though I'm leading this whole thing. Everybody's looking at her shining and whoopee, wow, because she's in a glorious feminine. She's
Right.
vulnerable and open, but she can
Mhm.
only be that when she feels safe. So that's the work that I teach men. Make your lady feel safe, you'll get all the goodies,
Mhm.
right? Respect your man, ladies, you get all the goodies. Now,
Mhm.
in my world, the challenge is women disrespect us all the time. Not your fault, because what disrespect us does not disrespect you. So you have a blind spot. The same way that we hurt your feelings all the time and we don't know why. Like that makes no sense.
Mhm.
That's not what I said. That's not what I meant. How'd you get there? What? How, what? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if we find it frustrating. So again, our differences is what pulls us together, right? The magic is to embrace our differences, talk about them, negotiate them. When
Mhm.
you did this, made me feel like this. I really didn't like it.
Mhm.
What? When you did this, made me feel like this. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's how I took it, babe. That's different than, I'm sick of
Mhm.
your crap.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
so Manglish again. Respect and cherishing is part of the dance.
Well, and I
Who-
agree. I think,
Yeah.
though, that once again, out of this feminist movement, and once again, we're all going to be clear so nobody's like bombing us that, yes, women have in the United States of America is amazing and beautiful, and we have
Right.
equal rights under the law, and there's no conversation here about a woman should receive less than. I mean, so let's be not be silly, everybody.
Right.
But
Thank you.
out of it did come a lot of negative behavior.
Yeah.
Something like, how you were talking about Manglish and how you're talking about instead, we were taught in this feminist movement, just say what you have to say. It doesn't matter. Blah. What they really were saying was be emotionally unintelligent.
Yep.
Don't be in control. Don't be responsible for your way of being. And it's so frustrating because the solution is so easy when we go, let me manage this thought. Let me manage these emotions. Let's think, do I really need to say that out loud? Right.
Mm,
And we're not taught that anymore, right? And,
right.
instead, we come out and we look like we're attacking, but actually we're coming from a place of don't leave me emotionally,
Mm,
don't abandon me, don't not like me.
yeah.
And that's even sadder, right? Because that's even sadder. Instead of saying, hey, babe, I really have a couple of questions. I'm a little scattered right now, and I'm a little discombobulated. Would you mind, taking a breather with me and walking me through this so that I don't take this personally? Because I know you love me, and
Right.
I know that you would not hurt me intentionally or
Right.
purposefully. And so I'm stuck in my head and in my rackets. Will you please take out a little extra 10 minutes and let's talk about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
different, like,
Hello. My words is this. I teach the ladies to say this, right? He's doing something, it's frustrating, confusing, right? You're gonna make an assumption about what he's doing. He has to know what he's doing. No, 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 no. You're filtering through the feminine paradigm, right? So you're assuming what he's saying is doing as a plan or purpose. No, he's just a man, right? But the concept of, you know, how'd you say it? The concept of I think of it this way: being emotional, right, and throwing it out does not create result. You create an attack and you
mhm,
push us
mhm,
back, and it doesn't
mhm,
work. We just talked about this,
mhm,
right? So I call it the emotional triangle as opposed to um, the non-emotional triangle. So emotional triangle,
okay.
which is a feminine often, right, goes like this. All right, are you ready? So something happens,
Mm-hmm.
you react, and
Mm-hmm.
then you think, damn, oh shit, God damn it. I can't, right? And then you regret it because especially when you
Right.
react with your words, you can't take that back. You may damage the relationship forever, right? There's things you
Yeah.
can't take back. You can unhear, right? As opposed to the rational dynamic, which is what you're suggesting, right? Ladies, you can have feelings. Just take a beat. Take a freaking
Well,
second before you bark, react, or because being reactive always will cost you, right?
mhm,
Energetically and even the response, right? So the idea is this is a triangle, the rational triangle. It goes, something happened, you think about it, and then you
mhm.
respond. Not
Sure.
react, you respond. And this
Mm-hmm.
is what people who succeed in relationships do, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
attack, they don't jump, they don't get rational. When they get heated up, they go, whoa, 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 do it.
Right.
Whoa. let's take our corners. It's going to get elevated, and we're not communicating right now. We're not. The reason why people start yelling is because they feel unheard. So she'll say something, and it's like, "That's not what I did." Right? Oh, now he's defending himself. She's like, "Okay, he didn't hear me." So then yell louder, and he's defending himself more, and then it becomes a place, like I said, it's just chaos. It doesn't solve anything, right? And we end up saying stuff that we don't want to. Right. So I always say the moment it gets heated up, like, shh, get yourself a signals
Mhm,
with each other.
mhm,
Boom,
mhm,
this or whatever signal, like
mhm.
we're getting heated. We
I
need
do
to, it's
it.
just like, it's not going anywhere at time. All right. Take your corners, go for a walk, take a bubble bath, let him go to Home Depot, right? Let him go for a drive. It could take an
Mhm.
hour, it could take 2 days, depending of the heat,
Sure.
created, the friction. And then you come back like adults. When we neutral, I call it neutral. When you're both neutral, you go, wow, how do we get there? You got so mad. What
Mhm.
happened? Well,
Mhm.
my dad used to, and I realized when
Yeah.
it triggered me, and it's the whole stuff, and it's not your fault, but like I really, I didn't realize. So I'm so sorry, right? And again, when you approach this way on both sides, there's only two solutions. It's only two things that happens. Explain yourself, what happened, why you got hurt, why you reacted. Right? The other person, the other side will say, "I'm so sorry, I had no idea." You get an apology,
Mhm.
wipes it out, and or, "Oh, you misunderstood. I was trying to tick, 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 tick." So you need an explanation of what you misunderstood, and or an
Mhm.
apology for the fact that something actually was hurtful.
Mhm.
And now we cleaned it up, and now we're back together, and then we can smooch, and the polarity is restored as opposed to them pushing away from each other. That's
Mhm.
what healthy relationship people do. They have each other's back. They want each other to win. So instead of trying to get on top, be
Mhm.
adults. Ta-da.
And I want to emphasize, I think you've been married 30 years, is that
Yep,
correct?
yep, yep.
So 30, so here's 54 years of marriage here
Hmm.
combined. And it's so interesting. Just this week, I had to do, some, I still get shut down, and that's
Oh
really
yeah.
what women we tend to do. So it's a long issue, it's a old issue. It still pops up,
Yep.
right? And I love the phrase that just becomes emotional debt. So because 24 years ago I didn't have the tools, then
Right.
14 years it's there. So now the last 10 years it's been learning how to undo that maybe or to re-establish different neurological connections so
Yep.
we're both
Yep.
not going, oh, there she goes again, or
Right.
there he goes again, right?
Yep.
And so it was so cool. I was so proud of myself. I was like, it was a little tense, and and then my husband raised it just a tad, and I went, I honestly, babe, just need a timeout.
Ta-da.
I'm frozen right now,
I
and
can't
I want to
speak.
listen. I can't speak, I can't think, and I want to really, and I use the word respect because, and first of all, I mean it. I said, I really want to respect what you're sharing with me, and I would like to ask for some time to think about it and then come back to you and share with you my thoughts.
Boop.
And right, he
Boop.
goes, it was so funny. It was like, how your puppy or dog goes, huh? It's just like a little cute little, like, oh, okay.
All
And
right. Okay.
right,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Sure.
right. And it was just so great. And what's interesting is that we talked about this last time briefly. Um, I forget what the fights are about when I look back at my past, but I don't forget the behavior, right? I don't forget showing my ass. And that phrase, I have historically been a bull in a china store,
Mm,
and I'm
mm.
just tired of picking up all that china, cleaning that up afterwards. And and
Ah,
and that's what I remember. So it's like, am I learning anything other than stop breaking the china? No, come on.
yeah.
It doesn't work. And so really taking that deep breath and going, babe, I'm frozen, etc. Gosh, it just works. And we've
It
just
just
been
does.
lovey-dovey, and just it's almost like it dissipated, right? So
Yeah.
it just, and of course we will follow up, but I don't know, it's so miraculous in this new way of speaking or new way of being, because at the end of the day, being lonely with someone
Oh,
is worse
the
than
kiss
being
of death.
alone.
The kiss of
Right?
death. Yeah. To
Yeah.
feel with, abandoned, because you can't. And I see this a lot, right? People like don't know how to communicate, don't know how to, I call it conflict resolution. Like they don't have the tools, so they're married and in love, all this stuff, and then something happened, and and it's the little stuff that because when you start believing that he's a jerk, he doesn't care, he's selfish. He gives us the one word answers. He doesn't want to talk to
Right.
you, right? He doesn't want you in this world. That's not it, right? When we keep pulling apart because we don't fix the things that happen, we don't like clean it up so we can reconnect,
Mhm.
we slowly come apart. So we think you're crazy,
Right.
you think we're jerks. That's not it, right? It says we literally kind of we want what we want the way we want it, but it doesn't work for men and
Mhm.
women. Like, so there's your way, right? The feminine is my way, the masculine, the polar opposites. We talked about this.
Absolutely.
Everything is polar opposite, right?
Mhm.
Made to fit. But so your way, okay, my way, okay. How do we meet in the middle? That's my
Mhm.
work. That's the
Mhm.
work. Like, how do you
Mhm.
meet in the middle? Understanding a little bit of how how and why he needs respect, how that works,
Mhm.
why that works, what that
Mhm.
sounds like, what words don't want to use to trigger that, because you disrespect him. And whew,
Mhm.
God help you, right? You can lose, I used to train my wife. There's two things that my mother used to do to me that would just sends me, right? So I told my wife early on, I was like, this guy that you know, that you like, that's easygoing and cool, right? If you trigger these two, like I go,
Yeah.
this guy turns into like a dark energy, and you're gonna wonder who the hell you married, and it's gonna scare
Right.
the life out of you. Now, I'm just telling you, it's just so now we're clear, and I've discovered her triggers as well. And so what happened is life happens, and I don't have those triggers, she didn't have those triggers, so she's blind to it until flick that nerve, and then right. I always say, ladies, you know that you disrespected your man because the first thing you'll see, look at my face. The first thing you'll see is this. He's like da 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 da. Da.
Right.
You get the clench. The jaw will clench. Like what? Clench. You'll feel him pull back energetically. If you're sitting together at a table in a restaurant, you'll feel him go right, and you're like, right, right. And if he can, he's going to get away from you. He's going to get in his car, go in the garage, whatever, right. And then you're like, I don't understand what happened. I was just trying to help, right. These
Mhm.
things you're blind to, and it's okay. But if you don't learn them, right? Because again, if get this is kind of beautifully simple. Are you ready? If you respect your man, which you have to do first, by the way, that's one
Mhm.
of the things that are unfair. You have to respect a man first in order for him to be able to cherish you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Respect the man, he will feel respected, obviously, but when you respect a man, he feels cherished, and he will cherish you back. When you feel cherished, actually, when you're cherished, you actually feel respected.
Mhm.
So we again come at it back. We both want to be cherished and respected,
Mhm.
right? But they come backwards, and primarily men needs respect more, and women
Mhm.
needs cherishing more, even though we
Mhm.
both need both. And there's a lot of data on this, right? Men will say, "I'd rather my wife not love me, but respect me."
Mhm.
Right? She
Mhm.
can tell me how much
Mhm.
she loves me. If she doesn't, I don't feel respected by her. It's
Right.
meaningless. And same
Mhm.
with ladies, right? If a woman doesn't feel cherished, how is she going to respect a man?
Right.
So that's again another conundrum, right? Because another disconnect that we don't understand, and it creates a lot of chaos. And but when you understand it, and when you negotiate it, when you talk
Mhm.
about it like adults, right? Those are the people who have long-term relationships because again, they have each other's back first. They're not trying to win. They're not trying to fight. They're not trying to, they're not trying to be combative, right? And finally going to fix him, make him act right, make her act right. That's not how it works. So, darling, last words on this? Because I don't want to go
Well,
too long.
I
I'm going
just
to kill
want
the audience.
to really emphasize that how you were watch your man's reactions, right? The one thing that I've learned over the year, it's more than just the clenching and the pulling away. The sparkle disappears from your
Yeah.
eyes.
Yes,
And that,
absolutely.
ladies, morning, morning.
Yeah.
And just really knowing that this whole conversation that you and I are having, I really hope people get that, conflict is not the problem. Life is full of conflicts. The unspoken truth is
Hmm.
the inability or the unknowing how to communicate in a respectful
Right.
fashion and manner. I agree with you. Not respecting men is probably the worst thing that we've done as a society
Yep.
and that has come out of the feminist movement. Not appreciating the fact that they've dug, Men have dug most of our infrastructure underneath our cities, that our cities light up because of the lives that were
Hmm.
lost,
Right, right.
from their sacrifices, from everything from sewage to electrical to
Coal
all of it.
mining, coal
Coal
mining.
mining, I mean,
Right.
just fuel, petroleum. I mean, all these jobs are so insanely dangerous. And ladies, if you want to go do that job, go do that job. This is not about that. But historically, it has been 95% men that have done this for us silently,
Mhm.
silently. And they have not complained, they have not wavered, and they have done that for the comfort of the ones that they love. Wow.
Hello.
Wow. And getting that and respecting that and appreciating that,
Yes.
just I have chills thinking about the effect that it would have upon society. Just chills.
No, totally. It would change everything. Get back to men is simple that way. Respect me, believe in me, support me in the way that in the things that I'm conquering, right? And I'll support you in every way that I can, right?
Hmm.
Behind every great man is a fantastic woman who gets that.
Amen.
We miss that in our culture because everybody wants to be 50-50 and you can't tell him what to do.
Mhm.
And, he needs to respect my, mm, mm,
Well,
that's
I
not
would
working.
disagree with you, Andre. I hate to say that publicly. I think women wanted 100% them and zero the man. It's all about
Right.
them.
That's what I mean. That's the new normal, but that's what's not working.
And
And they
that
go,
is,
how come men don't date me? How come I can't get a second date? I'm like,
uh,
I could, I could tell you in 10 minutes.
I
Just
can
being
tell
in
you,
your
right.
presence, just being in your
Look in the
presence, I can tell
mirror.
you why.
Just look in the
Yeah.
mirror.
But just being in your presence, I'm already,
Yeah.
irritated. I guess 'cause
Right.
I mean, masculine women are irritating to
Yeah.
masculine men.
Yeah.
And the man that you want the masculine traditional guy, but you
Mhm.
don't respect him. You don't respect his leadership. You're combative. It doesn't
Mhm.
work, ladies. It doesn't
Mhm.
work. So you can continue doing that. Again, how's that working out for you? Right? You want companionship, you want love, you want to be cherished, and you have to respect men and support them in what they need support with, and they'll support you in the ways that you can't imagine because it's our
Yeah.
instinct and natural for us to provide, protect, cherish, support, lead, and pay. You don't have to
Mhm.
manipulate us for that, but I require being respected, being needed, being appreciated for it. Thank you, babe. Thank you
Mhm.
for killing yourself. Thank you for,
Right.
holding it down when you came home because you had a
Mhm.
rough day and holding it down and with the kids. And like, thank you for this, thank you for that. Like, simple thing, like that's all we need.
Mhm.
And again, we'll go out the next day and kill ourselves to do it all over again for
Mhm.
you, for the family, for
Right.
legacy. That's it.
Joyously, like with silence.
Absolutely.
I mean, just like
Absolutely.
with
Absolutely.
pleasure, with
Absolutely.
pleasure. So,
Because we have this paradigm of duty. It's my duty. I'll take care of
mhm.
everybody
Mhm.
and I'll sacrifice everything I have to sacrifice. But look,
Mhm.
one of my favorite memories, again, we keep talking. One of my favorite memories is, I live in California, Los Angeles, and in the summer, it's, daylight till 9 o'clock. But I was working the other job. I would come into my house at 7 p.m. I left at 7 a.m., got home at 7 p.m. That was my regular days. But I pulled up in the summer, pull up in the car, and I turn off my car. I open the door, and I'm like, oh, and I could hear my wife and the kids playing in the pool.
Mhm.
And the pride that I have in that,
Mhm.
like I provided that. Like she gets to pick them up at school at 3, take them
Mhm.
home, make them a snack, do their homework, and now they're playing in the pool waiting for daddy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I did that. Of course, she
Mhm.
helped, duh, right?
Of
But,
course.
but you know what I mean? Like she helped in all the ways. But I mean, but together, okay, this thing. But I'll kill myself just to
Right.
hear those kids splash in the pool and laugh
Yes.
with their mom. Seriously. So that's nature at its best, ladies, right? In the end, respect first, appreciation, and back at you, cherishing you and appreciating you is the juice for you. Let's come dance together. Stop trying to take the lead on things that, ultimately don't serve you. That's what I'm saying. All right, wrap it up from us, please, darling, because I want to keep going.
No, I just the only thing I would encourage women to do, you have a good man, stay open even while you're afraid. Give him a chance, be vulnerable, just melt into his arms and just see what magic you can create, see what happens. Instead of castrating and pointing out everything he's doing wrong, just compliment him for all the things that he's doing right. And I
Whew.
promise you, you will have a fantastic date night. And oh my God, it is Friday and we're live. So, ladies, we want to hear all about that date night.
Please. With that, we're gonna go. We're gonna wrap up, darling. I'll see you in 2 weeks. We're gonna do this too, right? And it'll be an ongoing adventure of discovery and conversations. Thank you so, so much.
Ciao.